Seattle Sounders held their first practice of the 2025 a season that is full of high expectations because of a couple, I would say, prominent off-season signings. One bringing in Paul Arriola and also Jesus Ferrero to bring some punch to the Sounders scoring attack. Let's get to the video.
Like I said, they're great people. They're going to add to the locker room in a really, really good way. And then on the field, you've seen what they've done in MLS and done with Dallas and with the national team. So they're both really good players. They're going to help us a lot on the field. So everyone's excited to have them. But yeah, it's great bringing a couple more friends to the team.
Out here, like Pete Few, all kinds of people. What is that? I mean, what does today first present for you? First day of school, so to speak.
Yeah, it's a renewed feeling, right? A feeling where we felt like we left a little bit out there last year. A feeling of disappointment, and we want to get out here and keep that same energy of staying motivated and wanting to accomplish a lot of great things as a franchise. Our goals are always to win trophies, and you see the excitement this year. You see how many people are out here. It's a big deal to get going again, and for a lot of the young guys, it's important that for them to see the culture of the club and the history of the club.
I would assert there's been a shift, obviously, in terms of the attacking style, given you had the best defense last year. The opportunity that provides for you, because you're going to have speed up there, and you're obviously a fast player. What's the opportunity this represents?
Well, when we reflect on last year, right, we fell short because we felt that we didn't get enough goals. Defense certainly kept us in games. But again, I talked about renewed feeling, re-energized. We made some signings that are going to help us in the attack. And, that's what we want as players. We want help. We want to create new chemistry within our team and the players around us. And for me specifically, playing a little bit deeper now, it's how can I avoid transition? How can I avoid defensive transition by being organized and communicating and being a leader in front of Obed?
Yeah, I was just going to say defensively, does that put a little extra on you? I think you just mentioned to communicate. How important is the transition coming back, getting on top of the ball? Because you're going to lose it once in a while, like every team.
Yeah, certainly. And that was the point of emphasis, right? If we're going to commit more guys forward, we got to be a little bit more solid defensively. We have to understand that we're going to be probably defending with less players, which means we might give up a few more chances, but how can we still avoid goals and be one of the best teams defensively by still having numbers forward and committing guys to score in the attack.
Last one, off season, what happened? How was that?
Off season was great. Spent a lot of time with my little one. 6 months today. Went to Costa Rica to watch my brother get married. So that was fantastic. And obviously the news of my little brother having a little one. Our family's growing, and I'm just excited to see us kind of grow up together.
Friendly faces through my years playing with the national team. Obviously, over the past few years, playing against Seattle quite often, being with Dallas, and I did feel that this was an amazing opportunity for me to be here, considering the circumstances in Dallas and the way that everything kind of transpired. The opportunity to come to Seattle was one that I wanted to jump all over. Anytime that you're wanted at a club, especially a club like this, you want to try and do everything to make it work. Luckily, from all sides, we were able to do that, and I'm super excited to be here. I'm really excited just to be a part of a club with the tradition of winning, and having that level of standard from the fans to the organization to the players in the locker room. To be a part of something like that is really special, and I think I can really help the team get to the next level and win championships this year.
All right, we'll come one row down to Jeremiah and Nico Mazasi as well.
Yeah, Jeremiah, Senator Woken Fall. You mentioned that there were the circumstances sort of around your departure. Jordan mentioned that he was talking to you like around MLS Cup. If you could just kind of elaborate a little bit on the situation and sort of like how this all came together from your perspective.
Yeah, I won't say too much on Dallas's part other than, I was made aware of the rebuild process once the season had ended, and in a sense was kind of up to me to be able to figure out where I really wanted to go and if there would be reciprocated interest from club to club, and Seattle was at the top of my list. And speaking to Jordan and Christian and everyone really that has played for Seattle, everyone has had the most amazing things to say about the club, about the city, about the summers of Seattle. Everyone loves the summers here, so I'm really excited for that. And so for me, it was an easy decision. I mean, watching Seattle compete, whether it's the Western Conference Final or a final or Champions League or all these other tournaments, it's the one constant variable is always that the Sounders are competing for something. And as a player, I've lived various stages of my career. Being a young guy, being a superstar, being a sub, playing for the national team, doing all these different things. And the one thing that I really want to do is win something on the club level. And I really do believe that coming here, along with some other additions that have been presented with the team and the current core that Seattle has had for many years, for me, it's just really exciting. I really do think that we could do something special. See me as a wingback if we do look to play in that type of system or formation. If we're in the traditional 4-2-3-1 that Seattle typically plays, potentially as a winger. And at the same time, that was a similar situation when I was in Dallas. When I was in Dallas, I went in as a winger, and then this past season played wingback. Played right back, played a little bit of left wing back, played, I was kind of this hybrid guy that kind of played all positions. And when I talked to Coach, I told him the most important thing for me is finding ways to help the team, whatever position that is. I feel really comfortable in many positions just because of my tactical flexibility and being able to read the game and understand the game. And with so many good players on the team, I think it'll be even easier to be able to read and understand guys and tactically be on the same page. At the end of the day, I'm a hard worker. I'm a guy that works for the team, that wants to sacrifice, and I really do just want the best for all of us. As far as expectation, I know I have to earn all the minutes that I'm going to get, and when I'm able to get a position to keep that position. But I made it very clear to the coach and all the teammates that I've had in the past. They know the type of guy that I am. They know that I'm a team guy first, and for me that's the most important thing. I'll be able to play a role, whatever that role is. I'll be the best that I could be in that.
All right, Maz.
Thank you. Maz Vitamar, Eric, CascadiaSports.net. Hey, Paul, the opportunity that a transition team provides for you or gives for you, because you just talked about that wing back and that, what's the opportunity that's there and how technically sound you are?
Yeah, I think, I would say that wingback is my best natural position. I played there when I started my career in Mexico. I always say that Miguel Herrera started my career by playing in a back five and playing me at wingback, and he himself, the coach at the time, was a very good small defender, kind of like me. So he taught me a lot, and he gave me a lot of trust to be able to play in a system like that, and kind of tactically made me aware. And I think I just feel really comfortable in that position, knowing my engine, being able to get forward, embracing the attributes of what it takes to be a good defender. Knowing that I don't have to ever play against Nuhu again, hopefully, is probably the best thing that I could have done by coming to Seattle and having him on my team. Yeah, again, whether it's wingback, whether it's winger, whether it's fullback, my job is to try and put myself on the field, and that's what I'm going to do. And however I can help the team, that's going to be my first mentality. Wonderful player. I've known him a few years, I think a year or two before moving to Dallas. And he was one of the influences that I had to go to Dallas when I originally decided to go there. Was he's a 9. He could play 10. He can play out on a wing. He's an amazing presser, which I think the people who talk about him pressing are the people that watched him play for the national team, that watched him be a part of the Berhalter system, where the 9 is asked to do so much defensively without the ball and kind of lead the front line on certain cues. So his understanding of the game is amazing. His talent speaks for itself. The things that he's able to do, that he's able to create a lot, tactically very smart and has a good engine on him. Of course, the job is going to be for the staff to keep him healthy. Obviously, he didn't have a good year last year in terms of injuries, but I know he's super motivated to be here. He's really excited to be here, just like I am, and just like myself, we both had this wonderful opportunity, and we both jumped at this opportunity to be here. And for us, it's going to be an honor, and I'm really excited because he was definitely Dallas's best player over the past few years, and so for Seattle to be able to get a guy like him is gonna change the team immediately.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Absolutely.
Why not?
New year, you.
I've forgiven everybody from last season. I've seen lots of posts. I think our team's going to be pretty darn good. How about that?
All right, we'll get started. Maz, yeah, it's like first.
Brian, you got a lot of new shiny toys in which for
few.
you to be able to
Few.
mix and match. The opportunities provides for you to be diverse in attack, and I would say defense with Josh Atencio going to center back.
Which one do you want to talk about, the attacking or Josh?
Let's start with the attacking, sir, please.
Attacking stuff. So diverse, yeah, we have options. Obviously, Jesus won't get here till after the national team camp is over. But what it does is it gives us options. It certainly provides competition, because if you're looking at it, and you're looking at the roster, and you're looking at 11 guys get a play, I mean, there's healthy competition there. So you got Jordan, you got Jesus, you got Albert, you got De La Vega. Where does Paul play? If we stay some games in 4-2-3-1 or however we line up, Georgie and Paul done well. There's a lot of attacking pieces that there's plenty of good competition there. So for me, that's great. I mean, I love it. It's going to drive the training environment a little higher. And we've already got, I think, 39, 42 some games on the docket. So we're going to need everybody. So that's a positive. And then as far as Josh is concerned, yeah, we'll leak that out there. I mean, I think Josh's development as a young man, as a soccer player, I think it's the right timing. It was congested in there, and look, if it doesn't work, he can always go back to playing midfield, but I've made a commitment, he's made a commitment, it's his career, not mine. He's made a commitment that we're going to work on it, and we'll see if we can't have a story like Aaron Long. Aaron Long was here, he was a midfielder all his life, moved back, and had a pretty successful career at center back. Eric Zavaleta, center forward. So it happens. It happens. Earlier this morning to talk about life and what it means like to, enjoy their careers, because being a pro athlete's a really good career, and they're lucky. If they're upset or they're angry that the coach doesn't like them, or the coach doesn't play them, or they've had a bad day for some odd reason, I just say, well, look at the people that are dealing with fire and losing everything they own down in LA. Or look at Megan Young, one of our strength and fitness coach, who had a really horrible form of, all cancer is horrible, but she survived. And so you think you're having a bad day, somebody else is having a worse day than you, so don't complain. And I don't think that Jesus and Paul are gonna bring a new type of attitude there, because I think that's already ingrained in what we do here. I always tell them to read Boys in the Boat, because it's a great book. The movie was not so good, but I love the book.
Book review.
I love the book, right? It talks about the Northwest. And that's what I think about when the Seattle Sounders come to mind. So they got to actually come into that fold. Jesus and Paul, they got to embrace that because they are going to work, they're going to defend, they're never going to quit. That stuff's going to be beaten into them. Now, what are they going to bring? So against the LA Galaxy, I mean, could we have, gotten a few more chances out of all the possession we had against the Galaxy? LAFC, some of those struggles. Can we score a couple more goals there? The Houston series, I mean, we won by penalty kicks.
Right.
And our penalty kicks were pretty darn good. But I don't want to do that again. I'd rather those guys help us win games in regulation. That's what they're going to bring.
But that takes a mental attitude, though, right, Coach?
Well, they're like I said, they're going to bring it, and if they don't have it, they'll learn it because we got a good bunch of guys in there.
Thanks.
It's kind of just evolve the team to be a little bit better in certain areas of how we play, but also in big games, in big moments. Because last year I think we got to a quarterfinal, semifinal. And what is that intangible? Whether it's culture, whether it's competition, whether it's the way we played, scoring goals. How does that evolve the group to get past some of those, teams that we failed against in those big moments? We're always excited as coaches. I mean, we had a good time last week planning things. We're excited about our trip to Spain. It keeps old guys like me young. You get new young guys in here to try and see what they can do, see if they can make the squad. It's always an exciting time for coaches. When we played against, I'm trying to think of when we played against him, what are some of the moments where I thought he was an annoying pest. I don't remember those. What I do remember is, the playoffs, we went down to Dallas. We had won the first game here at home. We went down there and they first 15 minutes, Arriola scored a goal. It made Nuhu's life miserable that game. They came in, they took it to us. And I remember that performance by the kid. I think Paul is a very experienced, polished player. He's going to help us with depth. He's going to help us with scoring goals. He can be goal dangerous. And look, he is a good kid. I talked to him one-on-one. We talked about a lot of different topics. And I think he's a pretty nice young man. And I have high hopes for him. Why Christian said that, but look, he had Georgie and he was unpredictable. I mean, Paul was pretty unpredictable. Nobody predicted that. But the stylistic way we played, the formation, was that too rigid? I don't know. I mean, my take on all that is, you set players up in a formation that, you think is going to work. And then you allow creativity within that formation. Because, look, just using Georgie and Paul as an example, when Paul plays left wing, it's very workmanlike, up and down, run. Georgie plays left wing a little differently. We look a little different, but it's still the same position. What I would say about Paul and Jesus is you've got a couple of experienced guys that can make things happen. I mean, Jesus can score, anytime the ball's on his foot. Inside, I like Jesus because inside the 18-yard box, he might be unpredictable. Maybe that's where Christian was going. And Paul, again, we'll take a look. We'll see what's in there in preseason. But, if he can, be unpredictable and score a bunch of goals, I'd be happy with that. 5 as a wing back. I mean, he can play both of those positions. But look, Felipe, you know me well enough by now. I mean, everybody has to defend. I mean, Raul had to defend. God bless him. I mean, he scored a lot of goals for us, but even he had to defend. Jordan has to defend. Jesus has to defend. They all have to. It's a team sport. So, as far as is he classified as a defender, I don't think so.
All right, so there you go. You heard from Paul Arriola. You also heard from head coach Brian Schmetzer. Look, this season was always going to be about, can the Sounders bring in some pieces to shore up that attack? When your season ends with the 1-0 loss to LA Galaxy in the Western Conference Finals, Your mission is to go out there and get some scoring punch, and the Sounders have done that. Now, they'll practice here all week, and then they will leave on a Sunday for Marbella, Spain for 2 preseason games there. And Brian Spencer said, no, these are games that we're going to take serious. And the Sounders' first real meaningful game, if you will be the first round match August 19th against Antigua Football Club in round 1 of the CONCACAF Champions League. So from here, the Sounders Providence Training Facility, I'm Osvita Margarita for the CascadiaSports.net report. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for subscribing.